Good morning, I'm Nivariti Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Friday, 14th of June. In this update, New Zealanders could soon find it easier to travel to China after a bilateral meeting between Christopher Luxon and Li Qiang. The Chinese Premier has agreed to extend China's unilateral visa-free treatment to New Zealand following similar agreements with other countries, and says his country also stands ready to offer infrastructure funding. Luxon says they also discussed points of disagreement, like China's persecution of the Uyghur people.
We raised our differences. We had long-standing differences around human rights, foreign interference. They were two big topics we talked about.
Police are continuing to receive and assess information about wanted man Tom Phillips and his 3 children. It comes after they offered an $80,000 reward earlier this week. The father and his children have been missing for 2.5 years. The government's ditching plans to make gender pay gap reporting compulsory. The Labour government pledged it would require companies with more than 250 workers to publish a pay gap report. But Acting Minister for Women, Louise Upston, is instead developing a tool for businesses to calculate pay gaps voluntarily. Mind the Gap co-founder Delwyn Stewart told Mike Hosking, while mandatory reporting would likely make more of a difference, it's great to see the government taking action.
Most businesses don't set out to pay people unfairly. They just don't see what's happening in their payroll until they use a tool to do the measurement. And when they do, they want to fix it.
The Ministry of Health has confirmed changes to the Suicide Prevention Office. Its final decisions have been seen by Newstalk ZB and include plans to add 1 full-time equivalent role focusing on suicide prevention. Work around the Suicide Prevention Office itself will be done across different groups at the Health Ministry. The ministry rationalises the decision by saying different teams would bring necessary expertise to the topic. Meanwhile, the Tertiary Education Union has told the Tertiary Education Minister their expectations for Te Pukenga. The mega polytech merger by the last government has faced financial issues, and the coalition government has begun dismantling the centralised organisation. Education reporter Shannon Johnstone has more.
The unions penned a letter in response to Minister Penny Simmonds' letter of expectation, outlining their own expectations for her. They say quality education cannot be maintained with lower staff numbers and the constant threat of more upheaval and job losses. The letter also states they've sought meetings with the minister multiple times, but haven't received any responses.
Heavy rain and thunderstorm watches are in place for much of the North Island today. Met Service meteorologist Lewis Ferris says it's expected to be a pretty wet day for most.
Although it does affect northern parts of the South Island, it does look like the North Island will be bearing the brunt of most of the heavy rain today.
In sport, Kiwi golfer Ryan Fox has carded an opening 3 over 73 at the US Golf Open at Pinehurst to be 5 shots off the pace. The Dolphins have stunned the Sharks 30-28 in Sydney to sit 4th in the NRL and 2 points off the top. The Sharks could have forced Golden Point, but for a late Nico Hines conversion miss. Rafael Nadal has confirmed he will skip Wimbledon after being named to the Spain Olympics tennis team. Nadal says he's saddened to not be able to be at an amazing event that will always be in his heart. I'm Nivariti Manu, and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.